Okay, restream chat. Don't fail me now. Let's hope this actually sends this time. Restream chat. There you are. Okay, don't make me sign in. 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 Yay! Looks like it's working for once. Okay, so let me test this. Facebook. YouTube should be going. I don't know. Things have been really weird lately. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that actually sounds like it's working. So I'm taking these headphones off. Yay. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to learn how to set this up so that it actually goes where it's supposed to go and not, not have all this dead space. Like, I don't know. Oops. Let me get this microphone set right. Sorry. I don't know what I just did. Okay, so that should be crunch, 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 crunch. Okay, so this should be decent when I get in here. Wow, this was like way, maybe this ain't the mic to use. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So anybody who's tuning in, hello. Oh, welcome to Dropping In at Pipeline Audio number 75. And this one I am calling Catalina, an Ocean Too Far, because holy hell. And, there's always this Mac versus PC, Windows, whatever, Linux now, the debate. And, there's certainly, definite things that can be said about each one. Problems, advantages, disadvantages. But, people could get their work done in either one. Arguably, I know, actually, there's going to be a lot of people who say that not necessarily. We have reliability, I guess. I'll give it to Apple on reliability. They limit the number of devices and software and things you can run on it, and that's going to have a huge effect on reliability. Imagine making a car and saying you can only go 10 miles an hour in it. You probably could make that a lot more reliable than one that has to go from 0 miles an hour to 150 miles an hour, right? Limit the choices. You can increase robustness, I would say. And that can be a good thing. And there's always that phrase, "It just works," and it's true, and it's true. But that's good and it's bad. It just works could mean that you have a very limited versatility, but it works. And if it does what you need it to do, that's really handy. And you kind of don't necessarily need to care whether or not it's all that versatile. But this has been coming up more and more. We have students where they're learning DAWs and things like that. And, you need to be able to install plugins and where to start, but free plugins. That makes the most sense, right? Well, security in Apple has always been a little bit aggressive, let's say. And, again, you could say that's a good thing. But there were many times where we just couldn't get work done because of how aggressive it wouldn't allow us to install software. And, thanks to places like the Reaper users group and the forums and everything, eventually you'll usually get it worked out. But it's always, that's been difficult. And you could just say, oh, that's just because you don't know how to use Macs. But, it turns out that a lot of the people who know how to use Macs, I guess, don't know how to use Macs because they would tell us to do the same thing that we were doing and it wouldn't work. But it's come to a head. Last week, I was actually, for the last while. I've been trying to help some people get started with the Macs with Catalina on them, the newer OS. And, I'd been watching people freak out and complain all over the net about Catalina, and I expected that's just a normal OS. Whenever a new OS comes out, people just freak out. But, no matter what, we just weren't able to install these plugins that had worked, for a year. Some of these had actually worked for decades. And, really looking around and everything, we found out that, there were commands in terminal that conceivably you could get them to work. Now, I've heard some people saying that even with terminal, you're not going to be able to get them to work. But regardless, if you want to talk about easy to use and it just works, something like terminal isn't a part of that ecosystem. I mean, that if you don't know what terminal is, it's you can issue some command line commands basically, and that's powerful stuff. I don't know just how powerful they allow on the Apple actually, but it is powerful stuff, and it's not really something you want little kids and people who don't know a lot about computers running around and messing with. If something doesn't work and something else does, the something that does is easier. I don't care how much easier it feels, the other way around, but it either works or it doesn't. And this sucks, man. I mean, this is not a little thing. This is, as we were developing our new plugins, OS X has been a problem. It's how many shows we've actually talked about that. I don't want to insult the Apple users. Let me just say that things that seemed basic seem to be a very hard thing to do on the Mac. And I don't know if it's pilot error but I mean, it shouldn't matter. If it's easy and intuitive, you can do this. I can talk somebody through these things in Windows very quickly, but again, that might just be because of my familiarity with Windows. But when I dove into this was here I have experts who I've relied on for some of them for decades, honestly. Mac experts, and even they were freaking out, and they're saying things like, let me see. Some of this stuff is just it's going to get worse. Supposedly, as we get into the future, it's going to be even more and more important that these things are signed or whatever. But remember, we got our plugins signed early on, and that didn't always fix it. That's nowhere near as easy as people are trying to pretend. Like, it's just you just go and get this thing code signed. No way. There's a lot more to it than that. It's not anything like that easy, and it's just pain, man. There's a claim that Windows is going to go this way sooner or later. I don't know. I don't believe that it's ever going to be that hard to install these things on Windows. But let's take a look. There's already Smart Screen in Windows, right? You would click something install anyway, which similar to what you were able to do on Macs before Catalina. Not the same, because you actually had to go searching for this stuff, but the Smart Screen may give you a little bit of crap. And again, code signing allegedly gets rid of that. It didn't get rid of that right away for us. We paid for it. As far as I'm concerned, that stuff is extortion. Most of these alleged antivirus places are the ones flagging you, and like, you didn't find a virus. We're just not signed. So whatever, we're paying the Danegeld or whatever you call that extortion stuff. And it seems like it's kind of working for us right now, but a lot of these plugins we're trying to install here, these are free plugins. These are things that out of the kindness of their heart, people have made for the community for free. They're giving it to you. Stuff that you would have paid thousands of dollars for back in the hardware days, and here you go. These guys are just giving it to you, and it's awesome. So those are the ones that are mostly going to have the problems. Not all. Like I said, we watch companies get kind of nailed by this as well. I mean, there is this attitude out there that code signing is just it's just so simple and it's just going to work. It really doesn't. It's not $99 like people say. Maybe that's officially what it is, but to actually get it done, it was quite expensive, and it's a recurring fee, and it's a nightmare, honestly. This kind of brings up something else. Now, Apple has gone to ARM, right? It's a different type of chip than the Intel chip. I think it's what's in your iPhones and stuff. And so I think Juice is already set to go to ARM. If you're not familiar with Juice, it's extensions for programming plugins that make it a lot easier to move cross-platform. I think they're doing something with the ARM processors already. I'm sorry about this rain. It's Hawaii, it rains, and I'm got open doors and stuff. Sorry about that. I'm sure that whirly bird's going above my head. Oops. Anyway, as we go to these ARM processors, everything's going to change anyway. We may lose a lot of our plugins. It's a real bummer. These guys have done this for free, and for the most part, they've held up. But eventually things die, and there's talk that even the Windows machines are going to go to ARM. I don't like that we're moving away from a CPU setup that works, but they do have the reasons, and I'm not sure that they're right, but they could be. But it is one of the things that terrifies me is, and I'll just put it this way: stuff that worked before no longer does, and it's for no real benefit. Allegedly, it's for security, but it sounds more like a lot of the same monopoly, exclusionary, very, very dirty culture of the App Store. I don't know if you really ever had to do things for the Apple App Store, or notice that you never see prices where there should be prices, or that there's no demos. There's a lot of very anti-consumer stuff in that App Store. And I hope people aren't really going to deny that the App Store has some severe culture issues. And didn't we just have some kind of congressional hearings lately? Most of the congressmen went home already, or senators or whatever. But it had to deal with a lot of this, and I don't know that this part of Apple's stuff was even mentioned. They may have lucked out on it a little bit. Anyway, Super Blonde, the user at the Reaper forum, he gave a pretty good he had a defense of what Apple was doing, and I don't agree with him, but he's this is a well spoken, well thought out person. First of all, tell you you can use terminal to do it. Again, I don't. That can be a solution for some. Apparently, it's not going to be a solution in the future anyway. But I don't necessarily want people running around using terminal. So first of all, Super Blonde says the solution is to have developers digitally sign their plugins. Isn't this is collective punishment? This is, really what you're looking at when you're looking at the extortion system that is code signing. And I'm just going to keep calling it that. I know you guys may take extreme offense to it. I take extreme offense to being called a criminal before I've done something wrong. That's what you're talking about with code signing. You're saying that you're guilty until proven innocent. But you don't have to prove that you're innocent. You just got to pay some money. That is what code signing is. That's how I see it. You may see it a different way. So the solution to me isn't to have a developer who hasn't done anything wrong. In fact, this developer has gone out of their way to make free things for the community. why should they sign anything? This stuff worked before. This is Apple breaking something that previously worked. So I don't think it's the solution to have them sign their plugins. I could do away with code signing altogether. And I'd love to see us do away with code signing altogether. You could go back to the wild west of the internet. And frankly, that's where a lot of stuff was invented. So I don't mind it. But, and I said that's a terrible hardship for those developers giving away their time and labor for the good of all of us. Now, Superblonde says, a bit off topic, but it's not a hardship to sign a code. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry, but it is. If you talk to the developers out there, and we're not talking about the guys doing this for free out of the goodness of their hearts. We're talking about developers whose business it is to get get code signing going. It is a nightmare. A nightmare in order to actually get it to work. Maybe there's a official version of code signing where, it's code signed, but it doesn't mean anything for you. You have to go through a lot in order for it to actually do what you'd like it to do, which is to actually install without trouble into people's plugins. And don't even get me started on Logic, right? Okay. Anyway. So he says, it is part of the build system and happens automatically when pressing the same build button as before. Maybe. Yeah. Yes, it takes extra steps for the developer to set up the first time, but it's no more difficult than, for example, updating the web page of a plugin to tell everyone there's an update. No way. Getting code signing working is, I could update a web page. Getting code signing to working. Plus, I can update a web page for free. I don't have to wait and hope that I'm approved and go through this entire process of committee approval or whatever. It's not what you guys think. I've seen other people say this, and it's just not like that. It will also take a few extra steps to set up the ARM build system the first time for the new ARM Macs. That's an interesting point. That's really when also no big deal. Oh boy, I don't think you understand. So the code signing improves security and reliability. No, I mean I know that's the claim, but again, you're talking about guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, I mean sure, if you chopped off everybody's legs, nobody's gonna run by you and steal your purse. Fine, but it's ridiculous. Maybe, of course, it helps the reliability because if you can't run a plugin, that plugin can't crash you. But that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Developers simply need to run some commands to create a key, etc. Users will see that the plugin is signed and are more likely to download and install the plugin. The requirement will happen to Microsoft plugins too eventually in the future. Just as usual, Apple is ahead of Microsoft. That could be true. If it is, somebody needs to kick Microsoft in the nuts. I hope it doesn't happen. But we already see the smart screen there, so he could be right there. Once the developer has created a signature, then it only takes one command to sign a plugin. Listen, you maybe that's how you create a signature or whatever. But I'm telling you, until there's a lot of time and steps and money before this thing will actually run. Maybe this is technically what it takes, but it's not what it ends up taking in the real world. That's only needed if it's done manually. It's made to be automatic inside the regular single button click build step. I'm telling you, hey, if it's that easy to do code signing, how about we pay you to do it? Honestly, any of you guys saying that code signing is easy out there, how about we pay you a whole lot less than we're paying the extortionists, and let's see if you can do it. I'm willing for it, but now I don't understand this. So he's saying your complaint is unrelated to technical issues. It's very easy for a developer to create a signed plugin. It takes no effort once it's set up. It's not a hardship for developers. Perhaps your real complaint should be, why can't small developers or significant contributors in general easily receive financial compensation? That's a good question. That's a whole different topic. I would love for people to pay the free developers, but hey, maybe they don't want to get paid. They didn't do anything wrong. They made plugins for everybody. Why should, whatever. But yeah, no, it's a technical issue. My complaint is not unrelated to technical issues. It's a technical issue. Technically, these plugins worked before, and technically now Apple won't let them run. That's a technical issue. And yes, it's a hardship for a developer. $100 a year developer license is not expensive. Yes, it is. And why should they pay it anyway? This is exactly, hey, those are really nice windows in your house. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to them. But if you give me $100 a year, I'll make sure nobody breaks your windows. Let's just put a cap in this. Winston, you all know Winston, Mr. Bungle, right? I just got it chimed in. Only a diehard Mac user could ever suggest that a plugin developer making free plugins should pay money to do so, on top of the countless hours they put in making the free plugin. And yes, I use Macs and Windows before anybody tries to act superior. And he does, because he's complaining about some of the graphics issues on the Mac version of one of our plugins. So yes, he's using Mac. So there you go. But as usual, Super Blonde presented a decent argument. I just think he's very wrong in this one. Okay. And so, I'm just gonna tell you now. We always do this. You have tribes, the Mac tribe, the PC tribe. I generally would caution people against the Macs, but now forget it. I would not recommend a Mac at this point. If Catalina is going to be this restrictive, and really if it's going to go the way that the App Store feels, and we've done shows before on especially about playing guitar live, and that was my exposure to the App Store, and wow, that is stuff you really don't want to get in on. Ari Ronovich, I think he was on the show before. I'm seeing something from him in real time about having trouble with Waves Tune, and not the first time I've had trouble with Waves Tune, right? There's the issue of not being able to render. Maybe I should just hold on. Let me pull this up and I'll read it. In case you don't know Waves Tune, it's to me it's a very good version of Auto Tune. Okay, so this is So he's saying okay, so what Waves had said. Let me see if so the Waves, what the quote we got from Waves, Waves Tune is able to tune correctly when performing an offline render only when rendering the main output. In order to render separate tracks, you will need to render online. This is the intended behavior, and it is by design. It just means, if you're doing offline renders, faster in real time, Waves Tune just wouldn't actually render the effect onto it. It would just sound exactly like if you didn't have the plugin on at all. And there was a solution early on to limit the offline renders to one-time speed, and that was working, but now it doesn't seem to be working at all. And so I had asked, how do we tell what version of Waves Tune is the newest version? And I really couldn't get I went to Wave Central to look at the updates. It said there was no update. But he's saying, Ari is saying, and I put up a video showing the problem. I made an obvious tune and then rendered it, and then it wasn't showing up. And he said, yep, it definitely works in 11 for me. You will not get that fixed in V10. You will have to upgrade. So Waves is forcing you to buy a new version in order to fix a bug that they've had for quite a while. Now, I'm not positive. I'm not positive that that's going to fix it. But what's really weird to me, and for you guys who can see this, I'm going to pull up my Wave Central. Now, my Sheps says, Sheps Omnichannel says that there's an update. Waves Tune doesn't say that there's an update. In fact, let me just and nowhere on Wave's page could I find that there was an updated version of Tune. And I'm just going to type this in. Sorry, it's going to take me a second. So it's really weird that he's saying that if I go to upgrade to V11 that I'm going to see it. Let me hold on. I'm going to give Ari the link to the show. Maybe he can maybe he can pop in on the chat and we'll hear something from him. So it's weird that I couldn't go anywhere. I'm going to tell him this too. So somehow, like when you buy Waves, you're supposed to like buy this update thing. Like I could pay to I guess that you pay, like mine was version 10 or version 9, and I guess they're up to version 11. But that doesn't always mean that there's a new version of the plugin. That just means it's like their in-app purchase. Like, have you ever seen video games where you could buy like new cars or whatever in the game, like with real money? That's kind of the system that they've gone to in a lot of like Amplitude and stuff like that. And so allegedly with this V11, if I paid to be allowed to update, I'm not even sure how this works. Listen, if you catch us doing this with our plugin company, and you feel free to kick us in the nuts, pull up this old video and shove it in our faces, because we are not going to do this. I don't know. So I guess if I update to Waves Tune version 11, then it'll give me a newer version of Waves Tune. But I don't see anywhere on the website or in Waves Central or whatever that there's a newer version of Waves Tune. I don't see anything about it. So if I'm gonna type in Waves Tune in Google, and let's see what we get. Here's I'm gonna go to the ad that they bought. Waves Tune. Don't see a version number. Don't see anything about the fixes. Let me see. In depth. Oh, tech specs. Maybe. No. Yeah, I don't see anything about a new version or if they fixed this problem. Yeah, I'm hoping to get more information from Ari. That would be good. I mean, just this. Why make it so hard? Like, but what do I have to do if I want the? I remember Waves kept emailing me like, if I want to update, I got to pay money. But there was no updates. So I'm like, well, what am I going to pay money for when there's no updates to do? But maybe their Waves Central manager, you got to pay to update or something. I don't know. I don't understand this Waves ecosystem. But you know what? If I even got to buy Tune again for what I paid for it and it'll fix it, it's still worth it. It's still way the hell cheaper than Melodyne or Auto-Tune. And I really like it better than any of those things. So I'm really not sure. He says it's working, so let me see. He says, yep, it definitely works in V11 for me. You will not get that fixed in V10. You will have to upgrade. I'm happy to. How do I upgrade? Do I go to my licenses? Support Waves update plan. That's the thing they kept asking me. Waves update plan. Every new purchase or upgrade of any Waves product includes 1 year of free Waves update plan coverage for that product. I'm gonna make you this promise right now. If we have a bug and we fix it in the same version of the plugin. I mean, let's be honest. I doubt that you're going to call the newest Waves tune really a new version. It's a different version of Waves Update or Waves Central or whatever. We're going to fix your bugs. It's not your fault to have bugs. If we have to go back to ancient plugins and fix bugs, we'll fix the bugs. Okay. I mean, nothing's perfect, but we'll be reasonable, and we're going to fix your stuff. This is a bug, this needs to be fixed. I see a bunch of stuff. So if I want to go my Waves update plan, so I guess I ran out. I was supposed to pay to stay up on the update plan. New free second license option. Wow. I actually like that. I like that a lot. I want that. I would be happy to buy that. Wow. That's, man, I didn't even know that you could do that. Okay. That's, oh my God, $100, $90. And that's just for a year. Oh. Are you sure that there is a version 11 Waves tune, Ari? Because I don't really want to buy. What if I don't care about the SSL. I don't care about the H reverb. I don't care about the omnichannel. $22. Hey, I can do that. Let's just do that. Let's see if there's actually an update. Saying there's a V11. I mean, I could try and run this live on the air. I'm not gonna, but you know what? For $22, you know what? Even with Waves Tunes bugs, it has saved me so much time over Melodyne in the times that I could actually use it that I don't care about paying $22. I may be Parquet, but I'm not that Parquet, right? So that's awesome. So I'm gonna try this, and it is worth it. You guys will be the first ones to know. As soon as this show is over, I'm going to update this, and I'll post a video of whether it worked or not. But that is awesome. Hey, the second license thing looks awesome. That is cool. I just ignored the emails because I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? But I guess, whatever, you pay a certain amount a year. It's a subscription plan, I guess, of some sort. But it's still, I mean, add up. How many years would I have to buy Waves Tune over and over again before it costs the same as Melodyne? So whatever. If it works, I'm going to be happy. If it doesn't work, Ari, you are going to be in trouble, man. But whatever. We'll see. I mean, this is what we're here for, is to learn this stuff, right? So thank you, Ari. I'm going to check that out. That is awesome. So, let me stop bashing on Waves now. And what was next here? Yeah. But Ari, tell your guys, it would be really cool if we knew that there was updates. Like for all I can tell, the last version of Waves Tune is the version I got. They haven't changed anything. We'll see. Well, I'll run it and then we'll find out. But okay, I'm gonna stop bashing on Waves. Audio Assault. So if you guys haven't been paying attention, Audio Assault, who makes the ultimate, to me, Mutt Lange type of Dolby trick treble booster, which is the Exciter. It actually does a lot more than that. That XCTR. Which is what I use for all that treble boosting and stuff. They have an awesome new amp sim. He's been doing a lot of amp sim stuff, but he's got a new one. It's kind of a all-in-one. It's the way he always makes his UIs and stuff. So take it or leave it. You love it or hate that stuff. But this one has. So it's called Reamp, and he's done some amp profiling with it that I just got to say is it's as good as anything else I've heard. And he even did one of my amps, and I am happy to use that instead. No joke. I'm going to, hopefully he includes it in there. But it's the same kind of thing as most of these. He's going to have a few pedals. He's got some effects and stuff. Now, this isn't full featured like bias effects or Helix native or whatever. I mean, I don't think it's not going to be all that much MIDI control as far as I know. Probably no auto engage wah or any of that, and probably no pitch shifters. But the basics are going to be there. So I can't wait till this thing's out. It's been coming and going for the last month or so, but there's some pictures up of his pedals, and yeah, he's got everybody freaking out on this. And you know, I've been beta testing this thing since the first day of it, and it is awesome. So I just can't wait. You know, he had a thing almost there. With any luck, we might be finishing tonight. That was yesterday. We'll see. But yeah, reamp is coming, and that is awesome. And man, I can't wait. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love the sound of bias effects too. But it's just too sketchy to use on my live projects when I'm tracking in real time. I mean, you can do it, but it's just sketchy. And I've showed that they add a lot of hash and nonsense to the project file, like tons and tons and tons. I've done video on video of that. If you need to see that, just type in like bias effects hash pipeline audio. You'll find something. But I do love their plugins. But this Audio Assault stuff is looks like way more efficient, way less munchy and troublesome. So I think that's the way I'm going to go if Alex ever finishes this thing. So that's that. So that's the Audio Assault reamp. So I can't wait till that comes out. And well, I had like 5 billion core questions, but I am so excited to try Ari. I'm telling you, man, if this doesn't work, I don't know what I can do, but I'll be. You know what? Now we got an inside guy. If it doesn't work, maybe you guys will fix it. I'll try and take care of the Quora questions and the other questions this week. And I will see you guys later next week. Goodbye.